Hey Scorpio, welcome to Sweet Tea Astrology and Tarot. My name is Erica. This is only like the fourth time I've tried recording this, so I'm sorry if I sound a little exasperated. Welcome to my channel. And I hope that you're well after eclipse season. If you don't know about the eclipses, you can feel more than welcome to search my channel for the September playlists where I'm going through everything that happened in September, hopefully giving you a blow-by-blow of what occurred and giving you some heads-up information, or at least hindsight 2020 information. Maybe help you make better decisions for what's coming down the line. Who knows? But yeah, like I said, this is like my fourth time trying to record this. So I feel like I've repeated myself about 16 times. And if I do that in this video, I'm sorry. So I've already released new moon videos for what was occurring for us at the very end of September or in the very beginning of October, depending on where you live on the planet. This is me trying to shift back to my normal full moon, new moon, eclipse season messed me up because there was a lot going on. But before eclipse season, I would release a video for the new moon and a video for the full moon for each of the 12 signs of the zodiac. And that's what I'm trying to get back to now. So, now that all that's out of the way, why don't you sit a spell so we can talk about the stars? Alright, Scorpio. Go watch your new moon video, then come back here, or watch this video and then go watch your new moon video. However you choose. I'm not your boss. But I'm going to take a blow-by-blow of what is going on in the sky on the first of the month, and then moving through to the full moon. On the 1st, the Sun will be in the 12th, Mercury will be in the 11th, Venus will be in the 1st, Mars will be in the 3rd, Jupiter will be in the 12th, Saturn will be in the 2nd, Uranus is in the 6th, Neptune is in the 5th, and Pluto is in the 3rd. On October the 8th, Mercury, the planet of thought, communication, and movement, goes into your 12th house. The 12th house is ruled by Pisces, and this house governs over your dreams and the secrets that you keep from yourself, like repression. It also, in my opinion, covers just secrets in general. It also represents your self-undoing. It represents your karma and your limitations. It's a very dark house. It's the hardest house to see of the 12. But Mercury will be moving there, and we will still have the influence of the Sun and Jupiter. Jupiter will be there for a year transit, and then he moves into our sign. But I think now is a very good time for you to be using a dream journal. I think that you may get messages that you don't fully understand until much later. So, if I were you, I would at least try to keep a dream journal or something to that effect. You might be getting moments of epiphanies as well. You could be dealing with secret enemies at work. You could be dealing with karmic situations at work or with your health as well. It may not be your health, it may be somebody else's, and we'll get to that in a second. So, on the 16th, we will be experiencing a full moon in Aries in your 6th house. Now, this full moon is going to be at 23 degrees of Aries, and the Sabian symbol for that reads, blown inward by the wind, the curtains of an open window take the shape of a cornucopia. And when I meditated on this, I thought of two separate things. I mean, they both sound kind of the same, but the first is dealing with a situation that is so shocking and so just earth-shattering for you that you go internal and you see that the resources that you have inside of you are enough to sustain you through whatever it is that's going on. Or it could be a situation that is just so shocking and blows you away that that is quickly followed by either prosperity, abundance, or some sort of reward. Because the cornucopia is also called the horn of plenty, and it represents abundance, prosperity, and having the things that you need to sustain you. So, Steve Judd is a very, I wish that I could just have a direct link to my brain to this thing, y'all, so you can know what I'm trying to say, because my mouth isn't keeping up with my mind. Alright. So, Steve Judd is an astrologer, a very well-seasoned astrologer from the UK, and I follow him on YouTube. And he has issued kind of a heads up for the week of October 17th through the 23rd. And there's going to, well, all of October, there's going to be a powerful conjunction between Mars and Pluto. And it's going to be in Capricorn. This is a trigger warning time. This is where you need to count to 10 and do it again and again and again. And breathe, baby, breathe. This is going to be playing out in your 6th house, but your response, I mean, you may be responding to what's going on in other areas. I definitely recommend you looking into your rising sign, your moon sign, and your sun sign to see what's going on, because this is a powerful full moon, and it's also dealing with Uranus being right there next to the full moon in Aries. So that's shocks and surprises dealing with this sort of information. The moon in the 6th house will be covering the area of work and health, or the competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. You will have Mars and Pluto, both of your rulers, ancient and modern, in the 3rd house. And the 3rd house governs communication, siblings, cousins, neighbors, short distance trips. One way that I see this playing out is like road rage. Watch the road rage. I would suggest doing as much as you can physically, energetically wise, to get your heart racing in a safe, positive, conducive manner, to help work off that Mars energy, so the aggression isn't going to be coming out in your communication or dealing towards siblings, cousins, and neighbors, or the road rage stuff. Another thing that I see this happening or playing out in is getting communication about the health or the work of a sibling, cousin, or neighbor, or possibly finding out through communication that you're going to have to move, not a super long distance away, but you may have to move a little bit. It really depends. It may be because of work. It may be because of health. I know that there's a lot of people in South Louisiana right now where they had all of that devastating flooding. They're dealing with black mold and things like that, where you just, if you can't rehabilitate the property, you've got to leave it, right? That's the way it goes. That's what I'm seeing. That's how I'm seeing the energy really play out. It's going to be dealing with either work or health. It could be both. It could be your health and work. It could be that of a sibling, cousin, or a neighbor. So just eyes wide open. Watch your sun, moon, and rising sign so you know what's going on, because work and health is a scary situation. You want to be healthy so you can work, and you need to work so you can live. So those are pretty important areas of life for us to pay attention to. Now what I'm going to do is transition over to the tarot portion. I'm going to meditate over my cards and shuffle them and ask for the general messages for my Scorpio viewers. I'm also going to pull a couple of oracle deck cards for you. The first will be the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. The artwork is by Autumn Sky Morrison, and it is a real fan favorite of most viewers of this channel, and I'm so glad I could share it with you. The second is going to be something I think all of my Scorpios are going to love, is the Halloween Oracle deck, and this is by Stacy DeMarco, and I got this as a celebratory deck for my 2,000th subscriber. Thank y'all so much for being here. I'm so blown away by the response that this channel has received, and it's healing me in ways that I didn't even know that I needed. Alright, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. I'll be right back. Hang tight. Hey Scorp, I'm back with the cards. I shuffled and meditated, asking for the general messages for my Scorpio viewers. Okay. Oh boy, here we go. Gonna cut. I'm sitting in a leather chair and wearing my yoga pants or whatever. So whenever I rub up against the chair, it kind of sounds like some disgusting noises. I'm sorry. Bottom card represents the underlying theme or the overarching energy, and the top three are for clarity. Now from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck for my Scorpio brothers and sisters. All over the place. Okay. I'm going to do the top and the bottom. The final deck, the Halloween Oracle deck. I don't know if you can see that. That's got little pumpkins and cats and witches' brooms and ghosts and just Halloween-y little, it looks like die cuts or cricket cuts. For my Scorpios. Gonna cut. I think what I'll do next time when I record, I'll have a blanket put over this little chair, so it doesn't sound like I've just ate a chili eating contest. Alright, Scorpio, I'm going to flip these cards over, meditate over them, and try to get the messages. I'll be back with your story in just a moment. Hang tight. Hi, Scorpio. I'm back with your cards. I've meditated and I'm ready to give you your message. The very first card that popped out while I was shuffling is the Emperor card. I am not surprised by this showing up. The Emperor card is the, well, he showed up in reverse first. Alright. The Emperor card is the fourth card of the Major Arcana. The 4 represents to me the Cancer ruled house of home and family, or home and family. Home is where you live or where you consider home to be. Family could be your parents, your mother and your father, or the people that you live with now currently, your spouse, children, fur babies, or your roommates, if that applies. If none of that applies, think about your roots and your foundation. Somehow that will speak to you. The Emperor as a Major Arcana card represents Aries, and we are having a full moon in Aries. The Emperor card represents the initiation, and as a more symbology, it's representative of the masculine principle, taking responsibility and owning your own power and your own ambition. The fact that this was in the reverse, I think speaks very strongly to the Aries full moon that will be occurring on the 16th. That is occurring in your 6th house. And the Emperor represents Aries, that full moon. But I see it right now as the father, or a patriarchal type of energy. He's represented as an older male here. So it could be your father or someone that you call father or dad. The underlying theme or the overarching energy is the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is in reverse as well. Every one of your tarot cards is in reverse. So you could be feeling like the rug has been pulled out from underneath of you. The underlying theme or the overarching energy card is the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles represents Earth sign energy. The Earth signs are Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. This could be their sun, their moon, or their rising. The fact that it's in the reverse means that you could be dealing with a lack of money or resources, or feeling like you are dealing with a lack of money or resources, wondering how that's going to come about. Money is expendable. Resources as well are expendable. That could be your energy, your time, your money, the resources you have on hand for yourself or your family, using that or donating that to someone else. It could be that you are needing donations in some way or somehow. You may also be asking people for money as opposed to money coming to you, which sounds kind of odd because Venus is right now in your first house and will be moving into the second house, and Venus is the planet that represents resources and money coming to you. Maybe that at the beginning of the month you're feeling like you're lacking money, and hopefully that turns around towards the end of the month. Ace of Pentacles energy in itself is, for me, it represents a seed, or like if it was a new moon reading, I would see it as a new moon. Or if it was an eclipse reading, I would possibly see it as an eclipse. But I was really seeing the Wheel of Fortune more as an eclipse card than I was the Ace of Pentacles. But the Ace is the beginning, it's the start point. It may be that you're trying to get something started and it's just not working for you. The first card that you received is the Three of Pentacles, and it's reversed. The 3 represents the Gemini-ruled third house of communication, short-distance trips, and siblings, cousins, and neighbors. You will be having Mars and Pluto in your third house. This, for me, I see a key. Like, here's the head of the key. There's the part the male part that you stick in and turn. I don't know. I'm so intelligent, huh? But whenever I see the Three of Pentacles in reverse, the very first thing I think of is car keys. It could be dealing with a vehicle, or how you're getting from point A to point B. It's a communication card. It could be that you need the money to make a repair on your vehicle and you are in lack. I also see just the Three of Pentacles as a regular card. I see it as the apprenticeship card, where you are being watched closely. I think it's the Seven of Pentacles, maybe the 8, where it's going up and down, and he's got one down there. I see that card as the journeyman card, where you don't need somebody over your shoulder, but these people are watching you meticulously and carefully. You could be having somebody paying attention to how you're driving. You could be dealing with somebody also, I don't know. I mean, and even there's black in the background, and that's symbolic of secrets and darkness for me as well. So, if you're trying to buy a car right now, I wouldn't do that. Just on a very mundane level, looking at the cards, I wouldn't do that. And with Mercury moving into the 12th house, dealing with secrets and stuff that's hard to see, I would not be trying to get no new car right now. The second card that you got is the Three of Swords in reverse, and this is dealing with heartache. It's you're trying to do mind over matter, but you can't because your heart hurts so much. The sword signs, the swords represent air sign energy. The air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. The third house is ruled by Gemini. You're having a lot of third house energy, and that is siblings, cousins, neighbors, short distance journeys, and communication. You could be having you may get, and this could be one Scorpio out there, but I can't not say this because it's so strongly indicated to me. You could be getting really bad news about somebody in a car that you care very deeply about, and not know what the hell's going to happen. How are you going to take care of them? How's the money going to come in? They could have been the breadwinner. See, and that third house is going to be very, very, very important, because you've got 2 3s, and then you've got the Gemini card right here. You got the Lovers, which is another major arcana. You've got 2 major arcana that showed up here, which could mean that you may not feel like you're in control. It may be a situation that is happening to you, as opposed to you may be reacting to the situation as opposed to being proactive in it. And we can't all be proactive in every situation. Sometimes you just hear about it and you have to act. But the Lovers is the 6th card in the major arcana. And the full moon is happening. It is occurring in the 6th house. And it's dealing with the Lovers card. This is a very, very, very powerful reading for whoever it is that this is supposed to be going to. And if it's you, please remark down below. But The 6 speaks to the Virgo ruled house of work and health, or the competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. The Aries reading may be important to you as well because of this full moon happening in Aries. If you've got any Aries energy, it may be important to you as well. Alright, I talked about the house. Now let's talk about this as a major arcana card. The Lovers represents the Gemini sign. And you've got swords right here representing air sign energy. The Lovers upright means needing to make a major decision or making a really big choice, but in the reverse, it could be that this decision is being made for you. You may not have a whole lot of say in it, Scorpio. With every one of these cards in the reverse, it makes me feel like the rug has been pulled from underneath of you in some way. Keep your phone on. Keep it charged. Check on your siblings. Check on your cousins. Check on your neighbors. Also, pay attention to your own health and your own work, because this could play out in any one of those areas. Now let's look to the Oracle card. Well, no. Let me back up. I added up all of these cards while I was off camera, paused, and you got the 4, which is the Emperor, the 6, which is the Lovers, which is 10. 4 and 6 is 10, plus 3 is 13, plus 3 is 16, 1 plus 6 is 7, and that speaks to the Libra ruled house of partnerships and how you identify with others, with counseling and with open enemies. So this could, you may be finding something out, Scorpio, about your lover, is another message that I'm getting. It's like they have the key to your heart. They have the key to your heart, and it doesn't feel good. I'm a Scorpio rising with an Aries sun, and I'm queasy right now over this reading. Just because I'm getting personal messages as well. And of course, it's always fun trying to decipher which ones are for me and which ones I'm supposed to share with y'all, but that's just the way that it goes, right? For the Halloween Oracle cards that you received, the first is the Skull of Stars, and it reads Infinite Possibilities. Whenever I think or see the infinity symbol, that little 8 on its side, I think of us Scorpio. Whenever I see skulls, I think of us Scorpio. It's got a full moon in the background, once again, highlighting illumination, showing illumination, and I can't help but notice just the very mundane art on, I mean, I'm not dissing the art's beautiful, but looking at the mundane meanings, you've got something pretty impactful occurring in work and health, and we've got a skull here in front of a full moon. That's not saying anybody's going to die, but it may feel like it's the death of a situation. Or you may find out some really bad news about somebody's health on the full moon, around the full moon. The Skull of Stars makes me want to tell you that you need to think bigger. That you are only limited to your limitations are yours and yours alone. You set them, no one else does. You need to let go of what isn't making you be the highest version of yourself. I don't like saying whatever isn't serving you. I think that that's overused, and I'm not being critical, even though it sounds like it. I think that this is about trying to be the best version of yourself that you can be. So employ your boundaries and only allow what will keep you in the highest vibration and will keep you the highest version of yourself. Anything else needs to go. it's a distraction, and it's taking your energy, and you can't devote to the good because of the other distractions. The second card, oh Lord, the second card that you received is the Graveyard card, and that's why I said I couldn't help but not notice the flat out symbology, possible death or hearing of someone possibly with like a terminal diagnosis. I don't want to sound like that, but it's something else that I'm getting here. But the Graveyard speaks to unnecessary fear. People get scared whenever they think about graveyards, or most people. I'm not one of those people. I hung out in graveyards when I was... Death came very young. I met death when I was about... I was in pre-K. And I remember sitting on my grandfather's lap with my younger sister, and he had a heart attack and died in that house. Not while I was sitting on his lap, but, you know, he was an older gentleman, and I really didn't know him that well. He married my grandmother. She remarried several times, but he was Grandpa Harley to me. And yes, he was a part of the Harley-Davidson family, but no, I'm not rich like that. But yeah, Grandpa Harley passed, and I was very, very young, and I remember going to the funeral and being in the graveyard, and not being scared by it. Being more interested in, why is he in that box and going to sleep, and why isn't he waking up while we're talking? Why isn't he awake? So I've been around death, or I've experienced death from a very young age on. When I moved to a certain part of North Louisiana, there were a lot of old cemeteries in a very small town that I was living in as a teenager. And life was very turbulent and traumatic for me as a teenager. I mean, it's tough for every teenager, but I was taking on parental roles for my parents who just at the time were incapable of doing it. And my stress relief was to go to the graveyard. That's where I could collect my thoughts and feel my calmest. Enough about me, though. The graveyard is representative of looking at and approaching unnecessary fear, seeing it for what it is, and then moving forward from it. I do believe that the Graveyard card represents the fear of the unknown. That could be the fear of death, just the fear of not being in control. But you need to trust your instincts, and they will guide you to the place that you need to be. I do see the Graveyard card as the Death card in the Rider-Waite Tarot, and I see it that way because after death, where do you go? The graveyard. Your body, not your spirit. Your body goes to a graveyard, or you're cremated. But yes, this is where the dead rest, and you have to go through that Major Arcana card, the Death card, to get to the graveyard. That's not to say that you will go to the graveyard, but you may have to make a trip to the graveyard. You may have to either literally or figuratively bury something. Possibly bury the hatchet. For the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, you received the Perfection of Your Life, which is the 30 card. Whenever I see this card, instinctively it makes me want to tell you that you need to get outside and ground yourself and commune with nature. This is the 30th card of the Sacred Rebels deck. 3 plus 0 is 3. The communication house is going to be very important for me, or for y'all, not just me. Communication is how you get from point A to point B, and it's how you get your message out to the world. It's how you understand others and how they understand you. You are having Mars in this third house as well, which means you could be coming off aggressive. You could be coming off very, very powerful in your third house energy. And like I said, that could be speech, that could be driving, that could be how you're understood or how you're understanding. It also covers your vehicle and your technological devices that get your message out to the world. Yeah. But the Perfection of Your Life also reads that your perspective will change, and it will change everything. It will change how you see the situation, and sometimes the only thing that you can do to gain perspective is to give it time. Some situations require more time than others. But understand that everything is occurring and happening to a divine order and in divine timing, meaning there is no mistakes, there are no coincidences. Those synchronicities are gifts from the universe, and they are given to us to help us evolve and move to that higher plane, be the higher version of yourself, the better version of yourself. I also see it as I see this card as enduring a spiritual storm as well. There's a fog and a mist in the background that seems like it's enveloping the trees here in this picture. It also reminds me to tell you that you aren't in control, Scorpio, and that's hard to hear. Honey, I know it's hard to hear. It's hard for me to tell y'all. But, you're enduring a spiritual storm, and I think the spiritual storm has arisen because you are blocked in some way. If you're going through a spiritual storm, the best advice I can give you is to be the eye of that hurricane. Find the calm, find the serene, find the peace in the situation, even if it's in knowing that everything is occurring for a higher purpose, and it's for your best good, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. The final card that you received is Come to Life. That's the 43rd card of the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. 4 plus 3 is 7, and that once again speaks to the Libra-ruled house of partnerships, identification with others, counseling, and open enemies. The Come to Life card I'm sorry, that Mars-Pluto conjunction in the 3rd has really got me messed up. Whenever I see this Come to Life card, the song that plays in the back of my head is by Evanescence, Wake Me Up. Maybe a very empowering song for you right now. I also think that this card indicates that you need to get in touch with your emotions. I think that getting in touch with your emotions will help move that spiritual blockage that you're dealing with. Getting in touch with your emotions will help you to harness them. And when you harness them, you are able to use your emotions for your own power. And what I mean by that is, if you allow another individual to piss you off or make you mad by what they say, then they have a certain amount of control over you. But not reacting to that other person's communication or their jabs at you means that they no longer have that control over you, and you have control over yourself and the situation. You see what I mean? Another thing that you could think about, or where it might resonate, is that you need to harness your intuitive powers. And the fact that you're a Scorpio means that you are astrologically inclined to be a little bit more down with this sort of stuff. And if that's the case, then by all means, I embrace it. I embrace you. Do what you need to do. The very first thing that I ever did that started me down this path was doing yoga. And then after that, after about 3 years of doing yoga, I went through a traumatic house fire, and it messed me up mentally. It threw me off my path. I was going to school. I have taken a sabbatical from school because I do not feel as though the path that I was on is a path that I still need to be on. And that's something that I'm not dealing with. Everybody's dealing with that in one part of their life or another. So, yeah. I think I have a pretty good idea as to which way I'm going from here. But I'm still not certain, and I'm giving myself the time to make sure. I don't want to be a career student, even though I'd be a damn good one. Another thing that you might want to consider is if you're able to get in touch with your emotions, then you can have the ability to let it go and letting it go is once again freeing yourself up to devote that energy towards something that you really do care about, that you are passionate about, as opposed to devoting that energy towards something that felt like it was dragging you down or weighing you down. So, this full moon's going to be very powerful. And I gotta say, after the reading I just gave for Scorpio, I'm ready to get my Aries reading out, and then so I can do my own reading and see what might be coming down the line for me personally. But I hope that you enjoyed this, Scorpio. This is the longest video I've done so far. I always seem to talk longer to y'all, but I resonate so well with you. Please take care of yourself, Scorpio. Employ your self-care measures and be kind to yourself, and please, please, please be kind to one another, because we're all going through this in very private parts of our very personal lives, and some of us will never share these struggles with another soul. So, until the second part of October, I hope you have a wonderful month, and take care. Namaste, y'all.